Welcome back to Fight Week on Fox. Australia's Jack Della Maddalena has the opportunity this weekend to become the third Australian UFC champion, but he's got his work cut out for him in the current champion, Belal Muhammad. Robert Whittaker, your thoughts on the champ?
Mate, Belal is looking incredible at the moment. I feel like there's a certain type of character that gets better once they've got the title, and I feel like he's one of them. You know, I think his skill set has always been consistent, okay? But I don't know what it is. In the last few fights, he's really started filling the shoes. And the pressure, the confidence he moves in, the way he's willing to strike as well as mix in his wrestling, it just creates such a tiring game for people, you know? But I think he can also play into Jack's favour. So Belal really likes making things a dogfight. He likes getting in there, crowding you, using his hands to set up shots, to set up his hands to set up shots, right? But I think if Jack just plays patiently, controls that mid-range, uses his jab the way he does, make him uncomfortable with stinging him every time he moves forward or backwards. If he gets taken down, just get back up. We saw in that Burns fight, he's resilient. He can just get back up. He can do that over and over again. And if he's being patient and he's always looking for those kill shots the way he does, because in that third round with Burns, right? Yeah. It would have been so easy after he got up in that final transition to just make some space, take a deep breath, collect his bearings, reset, and go back in. There was a minute and a half left in the round still, okay? But instead, he moved forward into that knee straight away. More so than the knee is the head space that takes, the mentality that takes for him to be able to do that. And 25 minutes now with Belal, I don't know what it is. I can feel it in my waters, mate. I can see him finishing Belal.
Zac, your thoughts on the champ?
Yeah, similar to Rob, mate. I think he's a fighter that obviously has a real disciplined approach to his game plan, and it's very particular. And I think he fights very similar on a number of occasions now. It's he's obviously a pressure fighter, and his takedown defense is obviously unbelievable. And he just showed in his performance, in his last performance, especially against Leon Edwards, it was just the way that he took him down so many times and just continuously. He was just relentless about it and never went away from his game plan. It was just so consistent, and he was just dialed into the process of the fight, and that's what I admire about him. But as Rob was saying there, I think it can definitely work in Jack's advantage, in the sense that he can be patient, he can get behind his jab. You know, he can box, he can like, he's going to be bringing him onto his punches as well, and mate, it's set itself up for, stylistically for both fighters. It's setting itself up for a real good fight.
How do you think Belal does against someone though who moves forward? Because Leon, to me, like, if he's getting pushed and bullied, he doesn't.
He showed no urgency.
He never
getting
comes
away
back
from that cage.
Like, he doesn't come back. You know what I mean? He gets bullied quite easily.
So true.
Easily, like, he gets bullied quite easily. But like, what do you think Belal looks like when he's getting countered, when he's getting pushed back on it? Like, he's the one moving backwards. Hard to shoot when you're going backwards.
So true. And for me, he probably hasn't had been on the back foot too often. You know, he's always been the one that's dictated the style of the fight, the way that the fight's gone, and that's Jack's best advantage. Is, he can do that. He can do it on the back foot. He can do it on the front foot. He's a pressure fighter as well. So it's in my opinion, Belal hasn't shown that he's been stopped too many times, and it's always gone the distance. In my opinion, it's going to show someone's going to get stopped, I feel.
You know what I am curious about is how much of leg attacks we'll see from Belal. Because that body kick, Burns was utilising against Jack. I think Jack's quite susceptible to kicking because he likes controlling that mid space. Doesn't kick a lot, but he likes punching. Okay, you shut that down with some strong body kicks. Start chopping legs. Start chopping, the arms. We saw that he took an injury in his last one. I can see, and when Belal fought Leon, he utilised that body kick really well. Really well.
As we take a look at our Musashi knockout moment, Rob, Belal's striking, what are your thoughts on it? Do you think it's an aspect of his game that is slightly underrated?
I definitely think his striking is made better by the fact that he mixes everything up so well.
Yeah.
Okay, his takedown, in threat of takedowns and threat of the pressure, his cardio, it all lends itself to making his striking better than I think it is technically if you were just standing with him. You know, but you're not. This is MMA. This is what we do. So, and honestly, Dricus has made me question everything about striking MMA to date, right? Like,
why is that?
It really, because it doesn't.
When you look at people like them, part of their defense is almost the output of their attack and the way the amount of punches that they're throwing. It's almost part of their defense.
100%.
Because they're walking forward almost all the time, and I guess you look from a boxer's point of view in regards to watching someone like Tim Tszyu, his output in regards to his attack. It's almost part of his defense because it's just the pressure that they possess. And
but also, like, if you're landing shots, does it really matter what it looks like?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was like Belal's angles on his strikes when he fought Leon. Like, Leon's a sniper. He's got really crisp striking, okay? Belal's angles on his striking, his movements, they were crazy. Yep. You know, they were quite wild. Like, leading with hooks, leading with uppercuts. It's like you don't see it a lot unless you have absolute control of the game and control of the space and scenario you're in.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We saw you and Israel talk about Dricus' striking, and we saw a pretty good impression of Israel imitating him. Could you give us a demonstration of Dricus' striking right now?
I couldn't if I tried, mate. I'm not nearly drunk enough. But honestly, I'm talking like he didn't punch me in the head 100 times and finish me. Like, it's effective. He's got effective striking. Like I said, if you're landing strikes, does it really matter what it looks like?
Absolutely. Well, let's get the thoughts of the champion right now. Here's my conversation with Belal Muhammad. Well, Belal, it's great to see you. Thanks ever so much for your time on Fox Sports Australia, mate.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Now, we were supposed to see you against Shavkat Rakhmonov a few months ago, Belal, in December, but, gee, it looked like a pretty nasty infection. How was recovery in the lead-up to your first big title defence?
Yeah, that infection was terrible. It sucked anytime you have to pull out of a fight. But, yeah, I'm feeling 100% now, feeling back to normal, feeling back like the old me before that injury. So I'm just excited to have another fight on the books, another fight week, and I just can't wait till Saturday.
Yeah, well, we can't wait to see the old Belal back. I mean, you're undoubtedly one of the UFC's elite. You're riding an 11-fight unbeaten streak. But the bloke you're coming up against, our very own Jack Della Maddalena, well, he's got 17 wins in a row. What have you made of his ascent through the UFC thus far?
I've been watching him. I've been paying attention to him. I'm always paying attention to the guys in my division. And, yeah, he has a lot of heart. He's had some good fights, tough fights, and he never gives up. But the thing is, he's never fought anybody like me. He hasn't seen anybody like me. And I plan to show him the differences between me and everybody else he's fought.
What is the difference between yourself and his previous opponents, do you feel?
I'm the best in the world. None of these guys are on my level. And I'm going to show it again Saturday night.
Well, in addition to that, Belal, it's such an intriguing stylistic matchup between yourself and Jack, and the prevailing mentality is that this is just another sort of classic grappler versus striker battle. But do you feel as though that's sort of a fair assessment, or do you think it's a bit more nuanced than that?
No, I think it's definitely more different, right? I think people underestimate my striking. They always do. I always have opponents underestimate my striking. They think that I only have one path to victory. But as you've seen in my Gilbert Burns fight, you've seen in my Sean Brady fight, neither one of those fights I shot one takedown. The Leon Edwards fight, he was supposed to be the better striker, and I outstruck him on the feet. And then I took him down whatever I wanted to. I think I can take this fight wherever I want it. If I want to keep it standing, I'll keep it standing. If I decide to take it down, I'll take it down.
I mean, I did see that you did vow, perhaps a bit tongue-in-cheek, not to take Jack down. Can you forgive Australians for maybe not necessarily believing you in that regard?
Why wouldn't you guys believe me? You guys, are you guys against me over there, man? But yeah, I mean, I plan on showing the world my hands. I plan on showing the world my striking. And when I say I'm the best in the world, I'm the best in the world at everything. So people are thinking that he's going to outclass me on the feet. You'll find out Saturday night.
Well, you know what? It's good that you mentioned that, because I was actually really impressed by your striking against Leon Edwards. You know, plenty of strikes, and of course you were able to kind of bully him into the positions that you wanted to. You say you've got those Canelo hands, so do you believe that you do have the superior striking over a guy like Jack Della Maddalena, whose striking is so crisp?
I do. I feel like he does have crisp striking. It looks pretty, right? But my striking is different. He's never seen anybody with my type of striking. And guys get frustrated when they go against a guy like me who will constantly hit you with full combinations, long combinations. And that's what Jack likes to do, right? But now he's going against somebody that does the same exact thing.
What weaknesses do you see in our guy then?
Your weaknesses in Jack?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, his wrestling is not the best. I do think that he does get a little bit too comfortable on the feet with going one position, one striking way. And I plan to exploit all those things out on Saturday.
Okay, well, speaking of the grappling, we haven't seen Jack since that fight that he had against Gilbert Burns. Before we get to what took place in that fight, are you hoping to take advantage of maybe a little ring rust that might exist with Jack having not fought in 14 months?
No, I mean, if you're a guy that trains hard and works hard, like you get the rounds in the gym, so maybe he comes back even more refreshed. The thing with taking time off is if you're working on new stuff, you're getting better. It could be a whole nother version of yourself. So let's see if he was taking advantage of that time off.
All right, Belal. Well, you're a great student of the game. I wanted to ask you what your thoughts on his performance in that fight against Gilbert, particularly with regard to his grappling acumen and what took place in those grappling exchanges against Gilbert Burns.
He did very well. I think he showed that he has heart and he will fight until the very end. And there was moments in that fight where you thought Gilbert was going to have the advantage, and you thought if Gilbert got him down, it would be over. But Jack shows that he has good defensive jiu-jitsu. He has good ground game. He's not a fish out of water on the ground.
What are the differences between what he experienced against Gilbert and what he can expect against a guy like Belal Muhammad?
Yeah, I think I'm just a whole different fighter than Gilbert. I think Gilbert, he's also a guy that gets very tired very fast. And usually after the first round, there's really a big drainage of his energy. With me, I'm going to keep that same pace for a full 5 rounds. And you have to keep up with that. So I'm excited to see if he's willing to do that or if he can do that.
It's actually also been a very interesting matchup between the two of you outside of the octagon. There's been a little bit of trash talk back and forth. In fact, he described your fight style, Belal, as boring and insists that he's been tasked with saving the welterweight division. Can I get your response to that?
He's going to need somebody to save his life in the cage. I'm going to show him what boring is. I'm going to show him what savings he's going to do. He's going to be done in the 3rd round, and then he can go back to doing whatever else he was doing before that.
Regarding what you're building right now, Belal, you're building a hell of a legacy at the moment. Where do you see yourself, not only after this fight, but in your career moving forward? Do you believe that you can be the best 170-pounder of all time?
Yeah, 100%. That's my goal. I'm chasing it. I'm chasing the GSP. I'm chasing after his legacy, after his streak. And I mean, it's a hard catch, right? But we're in Montreal. We're starting here first, getting my first title defense out the way, and then planning ahead.
Well, respectfully, Belal, you've got a lot of fans here in Australia, but I would wager that you're probably public enemy #1 over the next week. Do you have a message for all the Australians who are watching right now on Fox Sports and will be watching UFC 315 here this weekend?
Man, I want to apologize to you guys. I'm going to have to do your boy dirty, but at least you guys got one champion. You guys got Volk. So, he's a legend of the game. Jack's still young. He got plenty of time ahead of him. But he's just bad luck that he was born into the reign of the Bully B.
And we know how much you admire Alex Volkanovski. What would you say are the differences between a champion like Volk, who has that many title defenses and had that incredible reign atop the 145-pound division, in comparison with a guy like Jack?
I mean, Volk's been through the trenches, right? We've seen him win and we've seen him lose terribly, but to come back and beat Diego after, everybody was counting him out. Everybody thought it was over for him. It showed you what type of mentality he has, what type of championship heart he has. And you got to respect it, right? He's one of the best to ever do it. And to continue to do it right now is huge. It shows that he still has the hunger. He still has a desire, even though he was a champion for that long.
Absolutely. Well, Belal, we can't wait to see it this weekend. Thanks ever so much for your time once again on Fox. All the best to you this weekend.
Appreciate you, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, great to speak with the champion. And there's plenty on the line, guys, with this fight and plenty of repercussions that might take place. If Jack Della Maddalena wins this fight, we know that Islam Makhachev has expressed his desire to move up to 170 pounds. That's a big fight that's on the line for our guy Jack, isn't it?
it's a monstrous fight.
Yeah.
Like, for one, I think it's a huge payday, which is great for him. You know, whenever champs move up or down, it's always a great time for everyone involved. But it's such a hard fight. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, gee, like I don't even know where to start with that fight. It's a tough one. Obviously, payday would be nice as well, but Islam, mate, he's just he's that kind of guy that I guess everyone wants to get their hands on too, and I guess so many doors open for him. Then as soon as fingers crossed he gets his job done, and mate, anything can happen from then.
Plenty of repercussions for this fight this weekend. We can't wait for it, guys. Got to thank you so much for your time on the show. Zach, thanks for coming in, mate. We appreciate it. Hopefully to have you on again.
Thank you. Thanks.
Rob, thanks for your time as well.
good to be back.
And thank you at home for watching. Don't forget you can order the pay-per-view at mainevent.com.au. Enjoy the fights. We'll see you next time on Fight Week.